Hello, welcome to Star Wars Spelt Out. I'm your host, Josh Chapman, and today we're kind of following a similar trend here, which is the new friends we made at Celebration as guests. So we had our buddy David Strutt on last week, and this week we've got another new friend that we made at Celebration. It's Jess Schroeder. I just got corrected. I literally just asked 2 seconds ago how do I pronounce it, and I said Schroeder, like Schroeder from Peanuts, and you said kind of.
Spelt Schroeder, pronounced Schrader. It's
Schrader. Correct pronunciation.
We like to confuse as many people as possible.
Yeah. So I just put her on the spot then because I literally just asked her before we started, and I said, "Oh, I'm just going to probably get it wrong anyway, just to mess with you." How you doing?
Good. I'm great.
Good.
How are you?
Good. We were just, I was just putting my place about how cold it was here in Melbourne because it's been raining and we can't really go outside, and we've got Frozen on the TV in the other room, keeping my 4-year-old busy. And Jess goes, "Oh yeah, so how warm is it?" And I went, 12 degrees Celsius, and that was met with disdain, really, wasn't it?
Well, first I made you do the conversion.
Yes.
Because I'm Fahrenheit over here. But yeah, 50 degrees Fahrenheit over here where I am would be definitely t-shirt weather.
Right.
T-shirt and jeans. So
you'd be busting out your Star Wars t-shirts in that kind of weather.
Okay, so many Star Wars t-shirts to choose from. Yeah.
Do you have
any excuse to wear them?
Do you have a definitive favorite that's like, this is the one I want to, like, is there one that you found post-celebration you're wearing more than anything else?
Well, I have a Empire Strikes Back one that I think I got at Target, actually. I just like the fit of it, and it's got like a vintage, the vintage scene to it, so I like that one a lot. My Bad Motivator shirt I got right before Celebration. I like that one. Oh yeah,
is that which one? Probably the Rio Durant one or the Dad Motivator?
No, it's
the Dad Motivators.
It's old school. No, it's old school. It's like one of their first ones.
Right. You're legit.
Yeah.
You're like a band. You got into a band before they got big, kind of thing.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, I was in Nirvana in like '89 before they took off. You got the early Bad Motivator t-shirts.
Yep.
So Minnesota, that's where Prince was from, wasn't it?
That's correct. And Bob Dylan.
Did you ever go to Paisley Park?
I haven't. I was never a huge Prince fan. My sister-in-law was like a diehard, so she's been there several times. And yeah, it's on the list, but I haven't made it there yet.
It's kind of like Lucasfilm, where you can kind of just stand out the front. You can't just, have a look. You can't just invite yourself in and wander around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now it is open to the public. It's a museum now. So.
Oh yeah.
And now that he's passed, but I haven't been there.
Oh, that's okay. I'm just trying to think of I'm like, what are the things I know about Minnesota? I know it's cold now. That's the other thing that I know.
It's very cold, yes.
Did you get one of the? Did I give you one of the beanies at Celebration, or had I run out by then?
You did not give me a beanie. It's okay.
Oh my God.
I think I met you Saturday night.
Yeah,
Saturday towards the end. So
I think they were all gone by then.
You did give me some stickers.
Yeah.
And a pin.
It's not quite the same, is it?
And I really could have used the beanie because I live in northern Minnesota, right?
Like, it's bloody freezing. Wasting all these people from California who'll never wear it.
Right.
One of our friends, Michael, who got one, he's been wearing it everywhere. He lives in New York, I think, and he's just been strutting around with it on his head. So he's been posting photos of him modeling it. I'm like, oh, that's very nice. All right, well, we'll rectify that next year at Celebration if we do it. You'll be first on the list if we do them next year. If we do it. If it
right,
happens.
in Anaheim.
Yeah, I know. That's the stupid thing. Well, at least it'll be cold when you take it home. Like, it'll be useful when you take home.
That's true.
But yeah, that's kind of the annoying part about that. That I'm going, oh well, I can't really do that because it's just going to be useless. But anyway. So we just touch on that. So we met at Celebration. Kind of by chance, I suppose. I mean, we probably would have met, but we met slightly earlier because I was with Catherine, friend of the show, Catherine Neen, walking out of the exhibition hall towards the end of Saturday, and I think we might have been waiting for Andy or somebody, and then there was a lady sitting on the ground charging her phone out the front, and she goes, "Oh, I think that's Jess Schroeder sitting over there." And I'm going, "Oh," I said, "I'm not particularly familiar with her, but go over and say hello." And Catherine's like, "Oh, okay, I think I'll go over and say hello." And then we all sort of chit chatted from there.
Yeah, I looked up and saw Catherine and recognized her right away. And I think I just like instinctively yelled, "Catherine!" and like jumped to my feet.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
I think I gave both of you a hug. I was in a very huggy mood that night. Gave a lot of hugs.
I know you bought me a beer later on at Steele's show, so
Oh,
you're
that
always
was
been.
nice of me.
I know it's always good in my books. So just like, all right, she's all right. She's gonna buy me a beer. So that worked out quite well because you were going to go off to Steele's show that evening, and I think you were flying solo
Yep,
that day.
I was.
So
I
it's nothing like
was.
having a few friends.
My friend that I came with wasn't feeling well, so she sent me on my way. And then she was gonna meet me if she ever felt better, but she just ended up staying at the hotel. So I was solo all day and night.
And then friends.
And then friends, and then I made a bunch of Australian friends.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's like all I had to do to keep them around was buy them beer, and then that was all it took,
Yep.
and I was fine.
That, it was great. It was a fun night.
So how did you go? We sort of crossed paths. We saw each other a bit sort of the next couple of days after that. But how'd you go post celebration? Was it sort of home straight back into family mode? You didn't get the post celebration blues?
Um, I did. I did, but I tried to, yeah, just little kids will kind of ground you real quick and
Snap you
force
back
you
into
back into.
reality. Yeah.
Yep. Um, but yeah, I mean, I would say less feeling sad and more like riding a high for weeks after. Just so happy about all the positivity and the camaraderie and meeting people that I've talked to on Twitter for years and just like immediately feeling at home with them. It was just such a great experience. So
Oh, that's what you want, really, isn't it? What more could you ask?
yeah,
Was it your
it was
first
perfect.
celebration?
It was.
So was that what
It
your
was.
expectation kind of going in, or you're a bit like, oh, well, because you were at this weird bit where you kind of like, I had a buddy, and then I lost my buddy, and then I had to sort of fly solo, and was that sort of
Yeah.
how you
So,
thought it would go?
um, well, when we got there, we didn't get there in until Friday. We got to celebration at about 3 p.m. Friday, and she was already kind of under the weather. So I sort of was anticipating the scenario and I was sort of thinking in my head, like, will I be comfortable if I'm alone tomorrow? And immediately I was like, oh yeah, like I could walk around this place all day
It's
by
Star Wars
myself if I had
celebration.
to
It's
and
not like
just be like,
yeah,
yeah,
there's things to do and
no,
see.
yeah, it was awesome. So, I mean, it was a bummer that she missed today. She was able to rally and come back on Sunday, but
Oh, so she got off the snow
yeah,
day.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Was that the day it snowed? Saturday?
Yeah, Sunday.
No,
No,
Sunday.
Sunday. Sunday. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah, it was great. I mean, obviously, I wish we would have gotten there earlier because I feel like we only got 2 full days, which didn't feel like enough, I guess. But
Yep.
um, yeah.
These are the
So
little
next
things you
time, I hope
learn.
to be there.
The
Yeah,
full stretch.
that was kind of what I felt like being my first celebration. Like I learned a lot of what I would do differently the next time and what I'll um, do more of. Just
Yep.
kind of like a big learning curve,
Yeah,
but
try and get
but
those
in the best
beanies.
way.
Try to get that beanie earlier. Get in early.
Yeah, find Josh right
Find the
away, day
Australian
one.
early on and get his free merch. Um,
Yep.
um, yeah, well, I think because they did I think the preview day was quite cool. That there wasn't really much on, but it did give you a good chance to get a lay of the land without having to sort of stress about getting around to panels and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was cool for sort of some of us because we're shoppers. We were there to shop, so
Hmm.
that was worth. I don't know about you. Did you sort of go there to shop? You're like, oh, I was going to get something for the kids, something for me, or you're like, I've got to get this is I must get these things.
No, so I'm not a specific collector of anything Star Wars related. I do have a decent sized Funko Pop collection, but I wouldn't call myself a collector. And I wish I was like, I'm waiting to find the thing that draws me in. It's like, okay, this is what I want to pour my money into and my
Mm.
heart and soul into. And I feel very indecisive about what I want that thing to be and where, and first of all, where am I going to put it in my house? Like I'm trying to be very strategic and like take my time choosing my thing.
I think it'll
I
sort
don't,
of choose you. I mean, we've got friends. Our friend Emily Lynn, she's all about director Krennic, and then
I know.
she maxed out Krennic, and
And
then she moved
Claire
on to
has,
Tarkin. Claire has Salacious Crumb,
yes, I know. I
and
want that. I just need I mean, I think if I'm choosing a character, mine's R2D2, like that's what I have the most, like, I have an R2D2 wallet and backpack and sweatshirt. And so I feel like he's kind of like my guy, but I just need to commit and go all in, go
have you
all
got
R2.
the remote control, the Sphero one that brought? Have you seen that? They did the BB-8 one a few years ago that you could kind of control with your phone and you drive around. They did an R2D2 one as well, which is quite cool. But they must have overstocked, or they've just people have stopped buying them because I saw it online for like $50 Australian quite recently, which is
Is it
nothing.
this?
It's like,
Is it to scale? Like
oh no, it's
the
not the
size of
size of
R2?
R2D2. No,
Okay.
they're little. No. If only. Talk about
Yeah.
having room. You must have a bit of room in your house if you took like. Well, I could fit a full size R2D2 in my house because he would do
Well, I would
jobs
make
and
room if it was
yeah.
$50, but
No, it's the Sphero one. So they're sort of actually I can show you the. I've got the whoops. I've just knocked a whole bunch of figures over. So I've got the BB-8. There he
oh,
is.
okay, yeah,
So they've got R2 is probably yay big, whatever the
okay.
scale to R2 is, but they've always been sort of $200 or $300, and then for some reason, which is probably just no one's buying them anymore, they were quite cheap. But I kind of missed the sale. I was like, oh, I could have used that. But my daughter is terrified of that BB-8. She doesn't like things that move that shouldn't.
Well,
So when so when she was little, when she was a bit littler, I kind of got it and I was like, oh, excited. And I was, having it drive around like she was sort of looking at it and I made it move with the phone and she went, ah! And then ran out of the room. And now anytime she comes into the study where it is, she suspiciously looks at it, along with a few other things in here.
see, I'm like the sadistic parent that I would just be waiting for her to be in her bedroom, and then I would like remote it into her
It just sort
room
of slides
while I'm
in.
hiding around the corner and just like laugh as she's crying in terror.
Oh my God. Now I want to do that, but I'll get told off. Kat will tell me off. She'll be like, why are you tormenting her like that? Even though I would find it funny. Oh man. Now I'm going to do that. I'm going to send you a message going, yeah, now Olive absolutely lost her rag because I tormented her with the remote control BB-8.
It'll be worth it. It'll be worth the laugh, I promise.
So R2's got the little soft spot in your heart.
He
You're almost
does. I
answering your own
have the
question.
coolest R2 wallet that I get. It is the single most complimented item of anything I've ever owned.
Oh,
Everywhere
I
I
think you
go,
showed
people
it. I
are
think you
like,
showed me it at Celebration.
"Oh, I'm sure I did." Yeah, I'm sure I did.
You're like, hey,
Yeah,
check
everywhere
out.
I go, people are like, "Oh, I love your wallet." I have a friend who's not a huge Star Wars fan, and she made fun of my wallet. And I said, "You know what? This wallet, it gets so much play. Like, just wait." And then we were at a restaurant, and like put it on the table, and no less than I want to say for sure 2 people, maybe 3, stopped and said, "I love your wallet." And she's like, "Okay, you can put your wallet away. I get it."
You're like, hang on, I'm just going to wave it over my head for a little bit here.
Yeah.
Is that an official Lucasfilm one, or is it sort of like a custom one that was made somewhere? Or
Well, I'm embarrassed to say I got on Amazon for $12, so I don't think it's no, it's definitely not official Lucasfilm.
hey,
I
look,
don't.
it doesn't matter.
I've never seen the like of it, so I don't know if it's still out there. But I've had it for a few years.
Some of the best Star Wars merch is stuff that's not official Lucasfilm anyway. Most of my
Mhm.
T-shirts aren't official Lucasfilm T-shirts. I only
The
bought,
podcast ones.
yeah, or podcast ones mostly. I think I bought the Celebration one with Luke on the front of it from Celebration, and that's actually the most comfortable T-shirt I got at Celebration because the T Public ones they're either too big or too small. Their sizing is a bit weird, but this one at Celebration,
Oh
the
yeah.
Celebration one is just like perfect fit, very nice, very comfortable. That's the one I'd be busting out if it was 50 degrees Fahrenheit in Minnesota and I was walking around in
Yep.
my jeans and T-shirt.
You would probably be wearing a parka if you were over
Oh my
here, I'm
god, I'd be
sure.
freezing. I'd be just complaining about the cold. We got through when we were leading up to celebration, and I lived in England for 10 years, so I'd sort of dealt with cold weather in London and things, and we'd had a meeting. All the Australians, we got together and talked about, because we were staying together in Chicago, and I said, all right, look, it's going to be cold here, guys. Like, I recommend you get some thermals. You get some gloves. You get all these cold weather things, because it's going to be rough. But we were suitably prepared for that Sunday, for that snowy day.
Oh yeah.
Right.
I mean, we've had two snows in May here, so
So you're just like, whatever,
that,
snow in Chicago, who cares?
yeah, didn't phase me. I mean, in the Midwest, the weather in April could be 70, it could be snowing, so you never know what you're going to get.
Mm. Um, Now, a lot of stuff online at the moment about Galaxy's Edge.
Yes.
Seeing a lot of people who got to go, and there was
Hmm.
I was just looking on Twitter this morning when I got up, and there was some dude. I didn't even read the story properly. There was some dude who's got some kind of Star Wars YouTube thing, and he was basically moaning that he didn't get invited, and that he
I literally
deserved to be
watched that 10
invited.
minutes ago, 10 minutes before we started.
So what's the deal?
Yeah,
Is it? Can you give me any more backstory on this?
sure. So it was Christian Harloff. He is the host of Collider Jedi Council.
Okay.
And which was actually one of the first, I would say, Steel Wars and Collider Jedi Council were the first things that I was getting into right after the Force Awakens. My brother told me about Collider or Jedi Council, so I was watching it for a while and enjoyed it for a while, but I don't watch it as much anymore. But anyways, he's had some bad press lately. He's had some, he's kind of revealing himself to be maybe not so great of a guy, it seems.
Yeah. I mean,
But I
I didn't
watched
know him.
the.
I didn't. So.
But there, I mean, there have been other things recently. I don't know. I don't want to speak to it because I don't know the details as well. I just have
Sure.
seen tweets about him. But yeah, I watched the clip of him like having a little. It seemed like you watched it?
I
Did you?
saw a little bit. I actually haven't seen the bit. I haven't seen the bit where he actually goes on about not being invited, but there's another whole bit where he basically starts getting berated to by his producer or something like that, and refusing to talk about it and things. And there's all sort of the four other people kind of awkwardly looking at each other
Yes,
in the
that's what I was
studio.
gonna say. Because the clip I watched was on. It was King Tom had retweeted it and commented, and that's when I watched. And I think it must be someone pulled together like clips of the big clip.
Mm.
And yeah, that was the three. I think it was three other people in the room looked so awkward, like they didn't
Like, oh my
know
god, we're filming this. It's going out
how to
live.
respond. Yeah, yeah, it was interesting.
So the gist was basically that some of the people involved in the thing got invited, but he personally didn't get invited. Is that kind of that was the gist? Was it?
Right. I think he said a couple of people from the Collider Network were invited, but nobody from Jedi Council, which is their specific Star Wars show. So yes, he said that he was, quote, extremely butthurt. So,
Oh,
and he will not talk about it. He will not promote it because he wasn't invited, and he was
huh.
throwing a pretty big hissy fit about it.
Oh well, I guess too bad for him. I don't know. I didn't get to this glorious life of Star Wars fandom for handouts. I don't know about you, but I haven't been waiting for my box of Star Wars goodies to turn up. But oh, I don't know. I mean, obviously, I think they probably think that they're more like journalists or something. You know what I mean? Like, I think they probably think they're an elevated news service that's more akin to legitimate journalism than just a couple of dorks podcasting. But at the same time, it's kind of up to whoever they want to invite, really. If
Right,
anybody.
yeah. And
I don't know.
that was the kind of like the icky part was he said like there are people with YouTube videos that get like 2 views that got invited and yada yada, and it was just
Uh,
not a good look.
so was he sort of being outraged, trying to put it that like we've all been slighted, where really he's just talking about himself, like, because I'm assuming everybody else in the room didn't get to go as well, but I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
Anyway, too
So,
bad for him. Um, well,
yeah.
it seemed like people had a good time. It was. Do you sort of look at that and start, making plans? And is that sort of something that you'll try and get the family to one day? You're kind of like, oh, I need this thing to settle down.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was Friday night. I was sitting down to watch some Netflix, and I opened Twitter, saw the hashtag Galaxy's Edge, clicked on it, and then lost like 2 hours of my life just scrolling through all the tweets. And it seemed like everyone had such an amazing time. And from some of the videos I saw, and I know Steele posted one, I haven't watched it yet, but it seemed like it wasn't even that crowded. I mean, I know they did the reservation system, so they were able to control how many people were there at a time, but it seemed like, I feel like that was the number one concern of everyone. Like, oh, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be so crowded. It won't even be enjoyable, but it seemed really manageable, I guess.
Well, I listened to Steele's show, and I won't just do the Steel Wars review show, but he got to go, and it was he basically was sort of recording out the front, and then when he got out, he didn't get to record inside the park. They kind of confiscated phones. He was there earlier, so he got to go the week before, which is a real bummer because I've done a fair bit of video work for Steele, and a lot of that's reaction stuff, and he does some great reactions. And I know he said in the pod that he basically just lost his mind when he walked around the corner and there's the Millennium Falcon or whatever it was. And I really wish he'd had that audio recorded somewhere. But anyway.
Oh yeah. The good old the Steel moans. I love those.
God. I've
the not safe for work Steel Wars reactions.
Yeah. I've done some videos. I've actually done some videos for his some of his stand-up stuff that a few years ago where he was using that audio for other reasons and things. One day he can release the videos, but it was quite interesting. But I think but he said that he got to ride the ride a bunch of times, and they actually said, "Oh, look, this is the quietest it'll be." That I think they had a lot less than what their capacity is for a regular day.
Okay.
So I think he said, "Oh yeah, we got to go on the Millennium Falcon ride, and it only took us we only had to wait 4 or 5 minutes to get on, and it was really quick." But I think realistically,
oh my gosh.
But I think if you go regular day,
right,
it's a lot more waiting and stuff. But I think they still do regulate. But yeah, I kind of go, I'm years away, really. At least with the whole family.
I mean, it's definitely something I would love to see. It's in seeing the people that were walking in for the first time, I think when they it was the rope drop or something someone was calling it. I was like, I was having FOMO. Like I should have just figured it out and gone, but it's not realistic right now.
Yeah, well, at least your kids are a bit bigger. Have you got one boy, one girl, or two boys?
Two boys.
Two boys, right. So
and they are not into Star Wars yet, and I'm trying not to be worried, but I'm sure I know it has to happen. It's in their genetic code. So.
Is that despite your best efforts? Are you a bit like, hey, I'm not going to force this on them, or are you kind of like, hey, how about we pop some Star Wars Resistance on, kids? Or
I'd say I fall somewhere in between, where I'm not trying to force it, but I mean, they know that I love Star Wars, and they have a general knowledge of Star Wars. They can name at least my older one can name characters. We do have some Star Wars toys and books. But I did take my oldest to see The Last Jedi and Solo in theaters, and he loved both of them. But they haven't watched the original trilogy yet or the prequels. I guess my feeling is I want them to be old enough to sit down and be focused through the entire thing, because if they're not, I might put them up for adoption. No,
I took Olive, my daughter, to her first movie the other day at the cinema, and we went and saw the Peppa Pig movie. So which is on brand for me a little bit, because I do the Peppa Pig podcast as well with my friend Matt. So it was like a work trip, but I probably got more out of it than most parents who get dragged to the Peppa Pig Peppa Pig movie, because I was like, this is all content for the other thing. But she enjoyed it, but that was only an hour, and I think it was only an hour 10 minutes long. They're very much like, hey, this is the attention span of a 3-year-old. I don't think I could get her to sit through until she can sit through a movie from woe to go at home. I'm sort of not going to risk a movie at the cinema, but she can almost make it through Frozen now, except for some of the scary bits.
What are the scary bits?
Her idea of a scary bit is a lot different to what you like. She doesn't like peril, so she doesn't like the bit where, I don't know how well you know Frozen, but there's a bit near the start where a little bit.
What was that?
I said you know it a little bit.
Oh no, I know
Frozen.
it well, very
Oh,
well.
okay. Sorry. There's a bit near the start where Anna is sort of flirting with the prince, and she falls backwards into the boat off the pier. Like
Yes.
Olive doesn't like that because it's perilous. She's like, "Oh, I don't like when she falls in the boat." You know that for some reason that is that weird thing that worries her. And then sometimes other
Okay.
bits she won't even care about. So it's a bit
Okay.
hard to
So
gauge.
she's not ready for Star Wars then. Not
No,
yet.
no, she's not ready for like someone. You know,
The
was it
trash
Ponda?
compactor.
Yeah, or Ponda Barber getting his arm chopped off in the bloody arm. It's not even him; it's his mate or whoever it is. It is Ponda Barber. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff's a little bit of a step too far. Like Aunt Beru and Uncle Owen sort of burnt to death.
Charred. Yeah.
Yeah, I might have to do like a little fan edit or something and cut all the gory bits out.
You never really realize the intense part of a movie until you watch them with a child, which is something I've learned watching some Marvel movies with my kids. I'm like, oh wow, we shouldn't be watching this. Like, this is way too adult and
Yeah.
violent.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. So we were talking about getting Olive to like watching The Little Mermaid because for some reason
Mhm.
the song Under the Sea came up and we were talking about it and we put it on the Spotify and played it while she was having dinner. So now she sings Under the Sea, but she doesn't know The Little Mermaid. We're going, oh, we should watch Little Mermaid. But then Kat, my partner's going, oh, maybe we'll just read the book first or the storybook so she's sort of familiar with what goes down. Because I haven't watched Little
Yeah.
Mermaid in 20 years. It's that thing where you go, I know a lot of Disney stuff does have scary bits in it. So
Hmm.
I know you can't
Yeah.
recommend Little Mermaid.
Ursula's not for the faint of heart. She's creepy.
Hmm. So I've got to be careful about that. So have you done Disneyland
Yeah.
before? Have you done it with the family, Disney or anything like that? Or are you sort of saving your chips for Star Wars Land?
What was that? Saving my chips?
I was in like, have you taken the kids to Disneyland before? Or are you kind of going, oh, one day we'll all go, we'll
Oh,
do a big trip when they get a bit bigger, or
we haven't yet. My mom's pretty I guess you would say keen to take them.
oh,
She
that's
really wants
handy.
to take them. She really
You
wants
go
to
like, all
take
right, you go
them.
off that way, and I'll be in Star Wars Land, and let me know how you go. And
Right, no, like we
the boys that
literally
like
just
Star
had
Wars,
this
no point
conversation
taking them.
this
I'll see you
weekend.
later.
Yeah, she was like, "Yeah, it's because my husband wants nothing to do with amusement parks because he doesn't like crowds or lines or being
Or
hot."
fun.
So, which is why we live in northern Minnesota. But my mom and I are talking about planning a trip to Disney World to take the boys, and I was like, well, so if we did that, like, would you be fine if like we got the boys in bed afterwards, and then I just like went back to Galaxy's Edge like by myself when it's less crowded? Like, is that cool? She's like, no, yeah, that'd be great. I'm like, perfect, let's do
Oh
it.
wow! All right,
Yeah,
great to
so
have a bit
maybe
of a have a
in the next year or two, I think it'll happen.
awesome, awesome. Well, I mean, the whole thing being at celebration, being at Anaheim next year, would just sort of what will they do? Will they sort of let people who are at the convention go to Galaxy's Edge in the evenings, or I don't know, will they book the
Oh
park
yeah.
out for people, or I mean, they've got to be some kind of cross promotion. Surely you don't have Disneyland, Star Wars Land next door to the Star Wars convention and not sort of utilize it, but.
Right.
Um,
Yeah. I've wondered that. Will you have to buy a separate ticket and then you can go like after hours yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, we
That'd be
had
cool.
Tracy Gardner on a couple of weeks ago, and she said that at the Orlando one they did a crossover with Disney. I think one or two nights there, but that was pre Star Wars Land, so it's
Mhm.
even. It feels like it's even more of a given, really. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm just.
Mhm.
Are you all in for Anaheim? Is it just it's gonna happen one way or another, or are you still sort of going? I've just got to negotiate my way through the next 12 months.
Um the latter. Um I really want to go. I don't I think I might be going solo if I go. So,
Well, you won't be going solo because we'll be there, hopefully.
that's true. So, yeah. I mean, I would like to. We do have another big trip planned in the end of February. And then my mom, well, I gotta talk my mom out of whatever she wants to do so I can have the leeway and the funds. So,
Yep.
but yeah, I'm just nervous that I know everyone wants to know what the dates are, and so they can get the ball rolling. But I'm like, no, like give me more time. Like I don't want to know the dates because I know the second they announce the dates, hotels will start booking up, and I just like need a little more time.
Yeah.
Give me
Oh,
a few
look,
more
just
months to get my
just
ducks in a row.
I would just buy the pass and then worry about it later. You know what I mean? Like just get it so you've got it,
Yeah.
rather than being, I didn't want to buy the pass until I knew exactly what I was doing, and then they're either gone or because they had a whole return system for passes. So if it turns out you can't go, you just can return and get your money back, and no worries. So I wouldn't sit on
Huh.
your hands the day when they announce it. I would just jump in, grab yourself that 5 day pass, and then work the logistics out later.
Yeah. That's probably what I'll do, honestly.
I've been spruiking that theory. I think I was saying the same thing to David last week when he was on. I'm just going, just get it, and then because you don't want to be in a position later on where you finally make your mind up, and it's like, oh, only Monday and Thursdays left. You're like, ugh, that's a pain in the neck. So, I mean, we have to do that.
Yeah.
If we end up coming over from Australia again, obviously we'll just jump on the passes right away and worry about everything else. It'll get done. My partner seemed quite open to the idea when I got back and sort of said, they're doing it all again in a year's time. So she seemed pretty supportive, and yeah,
That's
hopefully.
awesome.
So it's always good to
That's
have
great.
someone who's willing to indulge your little silly
Yeah.
Star Warsness. Um,
Yeah.
Now, road to episode 9. It's coming.
Hmm.
What does the premiere night look like for you? Do you get a little crew together? Do you, like Last Jedi, Force Awakens, do you sort of round up your Star Wars friends and go, or do you have a sort of tradition that you do with these now, or?
I do. So I have two Star Wars friends. One is my brother,
No, two
and the
local
other
Star
is
Wars
my
friends you have.
right. Two local Star Wars friends.
Yeah.
One is my brother. One is my friend Christina that I came to Celebration with.
Mm-hmm.
So, with the exception of The Force Awakens, the three of us have gone to all of the new Star Wars movies together, like the very first showing available. So, although like it being the very last, like the end of the Star Wars saga, I sort of want to bring my husband because he usually will come with me the second or third time that I see, because I mean, I see all of them probably 6 or 7 times, and he'll come with
Yep.
me like halfway through. But I really want him to experience the energy. Like, there's nothing like the first night. It's so
Yeah.
fun and exciting, and there's clapping and like standing ovations at the end, and just gasps and like clapping in the middle of them. It's just like it's like nothing else. So
Do
I
they do
really liked
midnight
him.
where you are?
Now they do. So they'll say the movie like officially comes out on Friday, but they'll do the first showing is usually 7 p.m. on the Thursday before.
Ah, okay. So we do. I think we get it. Australia get it the day before America, and then I think
Hmm.
we even get it closer just because of the time difference. So we get it Thursday at midnight, sort of 12:01 Thursday. So it's almost basically Wednesday night. So we actually get. I think we get it something like 36 hours before the rest of the world. I think New Zealand get it very first because of the time difference. But it's just so weird because back in the day, Australia was just the worst for movie releases. We get everything. I think Phantom Menace was weeks after the rest of the world. And now, because of the internet, we get it first because otherwise it just ends up on the internet. So we do the midnights here. So it'll be exciting.
So do you drink like a half pot of coffee at 10 p.m. that
Well,
night, or
well, we've done
God,
four Force Awakens, Rogue
that
One,
just sounds so
and
hard.
no, well, for the Last Jedi, we've done. Steel has done through Steel Wars has done a lot, and through one of the fan clubs down here, they do a midnight screening at one of the big cinemas down here. So we all go to the
Mhm.
pub first from about 8:39 and sit in the pub and socialize, and then we would go in watch the movie at midnight, and then after midnight, Steel would do a live reaction
Mhm.
podcast in the pub next door at
Mhm.
about 2:30 in the morning. So he'd have comedians and other Star Wars people of note who are around would come up and do the give their thoughts, and then that would finish at about 4:30 in the morning, I think 4:35 in the
Wow.
morning. And yeah, so after Last Jedi, I dropped our friend Andy Campbell home, and I think I got home at about 6 in the morning.
So
So
you all need to take that day off of work then, the next
yeah,
day.
well, I made the
The
mistake. I
following
did
day.
it for Last Jedi, but I made the mistake of not doing it for Force Awakens. And I remember I also made the mistake of Force Awakens of drinking too much beer before the movie and having to go to the toilet in the first 10 minutes of the film. But seeing they're going, it's a new Star Wars movie. I'm gonna have to just sit here and will it away. I'm gonna have to use the Force to will this to will this
Right.
Wii away, basically, and it worked. And I made it through the film. But then I remember that after the
Oh.
toilets, going to the bathroom about 3 times just before, just to make sure I wouldn't need to go. But
Yeah.
it's a
I
different
had my
experience.
designated time for The Force Awakens that I would go to the bathroom. It was always when Finn, it was right after the TIE fighter crashed and he's like walking through the desert. I'm like, okay, this is it. I'm running to Void. And then, and I
So
know
that's
it's like at the
so
very
that's about.
beginning of the,
I was gonna say
but
that's only
it's
about
not the
half an hour
beginning of the
in.
movie, but I know, but it's like, I don't know. That was just my spot because I knew that I wasn't going to
So
miss
this was
much.
after the second, like after the first viewing, where you kind of knew that's a bit I can jump. You didn't do that the first night. Did you just?
Right. No, 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 never.
How'd you go in Avengers Endgame then?
Did I? I did have to go to the bathroom the first time, and when I walked back in the theater, and the whole theater was like laughing hysterically. But I
They're
saw it
like,
two
oh
more
no.
times, so
Okay.
so I got to see what I missed.
It's those giant sodas that you guys have in America that does it. It's those huge, big, buckets of soda that people drink. That's probably why everyone needs to pee all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yep. So you guys don't do the giant sodas in Australia? That's not a thing.
Like a large is, it's funny. Like if you go to McDonald's in America, like your medium is our large, and then your large
Okay.
doesn't exist. So our small is small, and then, yeah, your idea of a medium is our large, and then your large is like a bucket of soda that we don't basically have.
Right.
So
We call those
same with
big
your
gulps.
fries.
I think
Yeah.
usually big gulps. You don't have anything called a big gulp?
No, no, you just have to buy
Okay.
two if you really want them.
No, that's for the best. So I'm sure you guys are much healthier.
I don't think we are really. I think we just drink more beer. I think we drink less soda but drink more beer. Also, like I think it's probably it all probably evens out. But
Yeah.
so we've had the Vanity Fair stuff, the photos and things have come out. So we're getting
Yep.
more sort of looks at episode 9 now. Getting a little bit more of a
Mhm.
gist of what's happening. What's your sort of wish list? Are you sort of take me on the ride,
Oh,
or have
my
you got
wish
certain things you
list.
want to see? Yeah, like what do you want to see?
Oh, what do I want to see? I am. This is this is what I want to see. I want to see um, Kylo Ren and Ray facing off, and then him. This is very specific, and then
It's very
him
specific.
at the last minute not being able to kill her, and maybe even sacrificing himself for her. So that would be his redemption. In the end, he does
Hashtag
something.
Bendemption.
I'm all about hashtag Bendemption, yes. But in the end, he does something to sacrifice himself for her, and that's like his big moment of
Mask off.
yeah. That's real. Yeah, absolutely. Why does he
It
even
would be
have the
weird if he
mask
did it and
still?
he just
Get rid
kept
of
his
the
mask
mask.
on. She was just like, oh,
God, get,
I'm really sorry for everything, Ray. It's like, take the mask off, dude. Like, let me see your eye. Let me
we've
see how
all seen
genuine
your
you are.
face. We've seen the face. Keep them. You don't need the
Because he's,
mask.
yeah, well, he's getting it back, isn't he? That whole thing where he was like fixing it in the trailer, so he's obviously going to wear it for a bit.
I know. Right. Maybe he needs to wear it for the Knights of Ren, or they won't recognize him.
Yeah, maybe. That was funny. What did you think of those photos of the Knights of Ren? They looked a bit dishevelled.
Um. Yeah, I'm confused about their weapons. They don't seem very like they would be effective
Hey, you just
in
take 2 steps
lightsaber
back with a
battles.
blaster and just shoot off with anything. He's like, I've got a club. You're like, great. Well, let me take 3 steps backwards and just shoot you with my blaster, and then
All they're
I don't
missing
know.
is a chainsaw. They need one of them to have a chainsaw. And then,
The Knights of Ren, the most ineffective knights. We're really great if we, within about 3 feet, and then apart from that, we're pretty useless. Yeah, no
yeah,
lightsabers. I didn't see any.
I am excited to learn about. I'm happy to hear they're going to be there because it does seem like one of those things where like why are they even mentioned in the Force Awakens if we'll never see them again? So I'm excited that we're going to get their hopefully story, their backstory, their purpose.
Yeah, we might
I
get
don't know.
purpose. I don't know about backstory, but we'll probably just be his mates, I suppose. But yeah, I mean, they look cool. I was sort of,
Hmm.
I was always going off. Well, they didn't really do much in Force Awakens, so I wasn't really hankering, going, oh, I must know. 'Cause I was just assuming we probably wouldn't see him again. Like, all right, well, if JJ's got a purpose for them, that's cool. I'm down with
Hmm.
that. Did you think that photo of Rey and Kylo sort of fighting, just before Bendemption happens? Do you think that's
Hmm.
the Falcon, or do you think that's the Death Star, or do you have any sort of strong feelings one way or the other?
I want to say it's a Death Star because I don't think I could handle the Falcon being submerged in water, never to be seen again. Possibly.
You don't think it floats?
Um, maybe. Yeah, I guess I would if I had to pick. I'd say probably the Death Star remains, or
Hmm.
something that we haven't thought of yet.
So you think
And
Ben's going to
speaking
be sort
speaking
of?
of which, do you think that Steele's working on his your Death Star debris theory sucks stickers yet, or
Oh god.
is
Well,
that
if I know
is that
Steele,
happening?
he's is it the chance to shill some merch? He's the merch
Your
king.
Death Star debris theory
Theory
sucks.
sucks. Yeah,
Get on that, Steele.
your Endor, your Endor theory sucks. I keep insisting that it's the moon of Endor that where the Death Star wreckage is, and I'm being met with resistance on that. But anyway, that's where I've planted my flag. Um.
I mean, I don't think you're wrong.
Oh, thank you. I think you're the first person who's been on here who hasn't argued with the bloody David Strutt last week. Wouldn't believe it. Tracy was the same, although she liked the idea that it might be Endor if that means all the Ewoks had died. But I keep feel like I'm repeating myself. But it's a big planet. You can have
Yeah,
oceans
I
and
don't
deserts
like.
and
I can't. I just want to keep science out of Star Wars. Like, get your science out of the way. Just let the
exactly.
story be the story.
Just let the spaceships make noise and all that kind of stuff. Who cares?
Right, get out of here with your tractor beams and your whatever it was.
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't need any of that. I don't need any of that nonsense. So if Bendemption now, you want a
Hmm.
Bendemption at the end of the film? You don't want Bendemption mid-film and him joining the cause and helping out and fighting a common enemy. You just think that's
I
feel like it's got to be
mean,
at the end.
I wouldn't be. I don't think I'd be mad about it, but I don't think that's realistic. I think
Hmm.
it'll be one of his last acts. I mean, if it happens, and I try not to get attached to my wants, to my theories,
Oh my god, you're a Star Wars fan.
because
You're gonna be like the dude who didn't get the Galaxy's Edge. You're like, hey man, I'm butthurt about this non-Bendemption.
but although other wants, I mean, I would obviously love to see a Luke Force Ghost, and I feel like that's a safe bet, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, he's definitely in it. So unless I mean, what else do you do? He's not going to come back from the dead. He's not going to be zombie Luke.
Right.
So I'm assuming he's going to be a Force
No,
ghost, but we'll see.
my brother texted me one day and said, "So what if Luke's still alive?" And I was like, "Oh my god, no, stop."
Get off
We
your
saw
message
his
board, mate.
body like disappear and his
Disappear.
robe float away. There's no. Yeah, that was rough. I mean, I'm trying to decide how I would feel about an Anakin Force Ghost, like maybe trying to talk some sense into Ben, but I
Hayden, you think
think, I
Hayden
mean,
would come back?
oh God, I would love it so much. I would love it, but but I would want it to work well. Like if they could figure out a way to do it where it didn't feel contrived, and I think JJ could do that. I trust him.
Do you feel like we'll
So
get a?
yes.
Do you think we're going to get a little Force Ghost party at the end of this movie? You sort of your Anakins and your Obi Wans and your Lukes and Yodas all staying together
Oh
and
wow.
oh, actually, here's a question for
Maybe.
you. Here's a question for you.
Okay.
Will we get a? I don't think anyone's ever asked this. Actually, I'm going to plant my
Oh wow.
flag.
Okay.
Will we get a
Okay.
Ben Solo Force Ghost?
No, because I feel like a Ben Solo Force Ghost would have to smile, as all Force Ghosts do at the end of movies, and I can't envision that happening. Can you?
That's that weird
As,
Adam Driver. He's just kind of trying to like Monty Burns trying to smile or something. um,
yeah.
that's an interesting theory. Actually, I've never really thought about that because if he Ben Demps himself and sacrifices him things and
In
rejects
theory,
the
he could
dark
be a Force
side,
Ghost.
He could be at the Force
Yeah.
Ghost party at the end. All right, you know what? I haven't heard that theory anywhere, so we're gonna claim that on this
Okay.
episode. I'm gonna put
Okay.
it on the. Maybe I'll call the episode Ben Force Ghost Ben or something, just so
I
we
think
can
that
we
he
can
would
plant our
be.
flag.
I could see him being at the Force Ghost party, but he's standing like 5 feet away from everyone and kind of like
Sulking. Like I didn't even want
acting,
to be a
yeah,
Force
like
Ghost.
scowling, like being too cool, like
I didn't even want
this.
this.
Yeah, this
I didn't
isn't
want
what
to
I
be a
signed
Force
up
Ghost.
for
Ugh, look at all this
when I
white that they've put
sacrificed
me in. Look at
myself
look
to
at this.
save Ray.
They've cut his hair.
Yeah,
He's
he'll
got
be
a
like, blue
white
is not
outfit
my
on.
color.
Yeah. Ray makes it out though.
Right? Oh, yeah. I mean, she better.
She's the
Oh,
hero.
don't even put that idea in my head. Yes, I have to believe that.
What about
I haven't even really thought about like who might die besides Kylo Ren. I just for some reason I assume he will die.
I mean, it sort
I
of
haven't thought
thematically
about.
makes sense. And
Yeah.
I mean, they keep saying it's the end of the Skywalker saga, and I brought this up when Tracy was on. You know, if it's the end of the Skywalker saga, it's not the end of the Star Wars saga; it's the end of the Skywalker saga. They keep saying, which
Mhm.
means that there's going to be Star Wars movies forever.
Right.
Can there be any Skywalkers alive at the end of the Skywalker saga?
Um, I don't. I mean, maybe Leia.
Yeah, Leia's the tricky
I don't
one,
know.
isn't
What
it?
do you think? Yeah,
Well,
that's the wild card.
yeah, I suppose that she's slightly different because she sort of turned her back on. She didn't take the chance to be a Jedi. Obviously she's used her powers we've seen now, but it wasn't like
Hmm.
it's not like expanded universe Leia where she's like a Jedi as well, and she's kind of
Turning up light switches.
having it all. She's Jediing and mumming and running the galaxy and doing all that kind of stuff. But
Hmm.
yeah, I don't know. I think if it's the end of the Skywalker saga, Ben's got to go. You can't really. It would feel weird if you continued the story and he was still alive, wouldn't it? If the story ended and he was still alive.
Yeah, and you know what? I just had a thought, but I would another want. I want Ben Demption, but I want Ben Demption with enough time for Leia to know that he at the last minute did something good. Like I want her to have that.
This is all right.
I I don't know if how they would do that with what the footage they have to work with, if that's possible, but I think that would be amazing
You could
and really
probably just
touching.
cut to a shot of Leia just sort of, realizing something's happened or smiling or like she'd felt
Oh, right. Yeah, because
something
that's
happened.
like that's her force power. She can sense the people she loves and if they're in peril or if they're, yeah,
That's
you're right.
bloody good, Jess. That's very nice. Now I want to see that. Now I'm going to get butthurt if I don't get to see that in The Rise of Skywalker.
Extremely butthurt.
I'm going to
Extremely
get
butthurt.
extremely butthurt. So I'm tossing up. Do I call the episode Extremely Butthurt or do I call it Ghost Ben Solo? And I actually did an episode about Ghost R2 last week, so I'm just doing ghost episodes
Ghost
everywhere.
R2. Right? I listened to your last episode. I don't remember that bit. Ghost
We were just
R2?
talking about how we hadn't seen R2D2 because he was standing with Luke in that photo.
Right.
And we're going, well, if that's supposed to be Ghost Luke, is R2 a ghost as well? Did Luke kick him off the ledge before he died? He took R2 with him.
Yeah.
But then we
I
established
mean,
that
that.
no, R2 was actually there on the Falcon at the end. So the theory didn't make any sense.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think that's the photo that made my brother go off the deep end with his. Maybe Luke's still alive. Like, no, it could be a flashback.
They just
I
haven't
think that's.
photoshopped the blue on him yet, I think.
Yeah. Or that. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think it's that tricky to do. Who else haven't we touched on? Well, Finn and Poe, actually. I guess they're the others, Did the boys, did the golden couple make it out in one piece?
Yes.
Finn's actually an
I think
interesting one in this
so.
story because
Huh?
Finn's just an interesting one in this because he sort of kicks off the story in a lot of ways in Force Awakens, and
Mhm.
it's just quite interesting what they get him to do and what his purpose is going to be in this film. Actually, I think everyone's got so caught up in Rey and the Skywalker saga and Ben and things, and Finn's obviously not the hero of the story to the level that Rey is, but he's sort of just underneath. Like he's the secondary hero of the story, I think. I mean, people might say Ben, but I kind of think it's sort of the Ben and Rey are sort of an equal sort of dichotomy, and then it's sort of Finn is the one underneath, sort of like Han is, I suppose. But yeah, I don't know. I'm curious to see
Yeah.
what they do with him.
Yeah, me too. I have no, I can't, I, outlook cloudy. What is that that the magic 8 ball says when it just has no idea?
Yeah.
Asking him
Oh, hang
later.
on.
I don't know. Like, I don't know but I mean, I'm sure it's going to be brilliant, whatever it is, because
Yeah, I think
I
it'll
don't
have
know.
a lot to do with. I think he'll obviously have a lot to do with the way because I don't read spoilers, so I don't know anything about the actual plot. We've got all these little sort of things of like something to do with the Death Star, something to do with the Emperor. Some of these things are going on, but as far as like what are they doing, where are they going, who are they fighting, what are they getting, who are they meeting, all that kind of stuff, I don't really know. But I feel like that Finn will have a lot to do with the sort of the progression of the story or the push of the story of why they have to do these things. Yeah, I just hope he gets
Yeah.
a good story and makes it out. Like I feel like he's a character you could easily sort of spin off as well.
Yeah. And maybe Poe too, but I mean, I don't know if Oscar Isaac, what his deal is, how he feels about
Coming back.
how if he would sign on for more.
Yeah, I feel
He's
like
got a lot going on.
John Boyega seems like the most keen to continue. I think even at Celebration, he just said like, "I'll be Finn as long as people want me to." So if they want to
Yeah.
do the Finn Adventures on Disney Plus, like sign me up. You've got my $7 a month.
Okay,
I feel like
speaking
Daisy.
of John Boyega at Celebration, I have to tell one quick anecdote
Oh,
about my
please.
Celebration experience. So arrived kind of late into Friday and immediately hit the like the vendor or the exhibit hall, and we were getting a beer, and all of a sudden there's this huge commotion like right behind me, and I looked up to someone standing nearby. I'm like, what's going on? And he's like, it's John Boyega. I'm like, what? And he's like, it's John Boyega. He's like right there. So he was like actually out walking among, well,
The
he was
people.
trying to, but he was being bombarded, so he could barely move. But I was able to get like within, I don't know, like 5 feet of him. And I was like, this is like I've been at Star Wars Celebration for 30 minutes, and John Boyega is like 5 feet away from me.
He
So
said,
that
"Hi,
set the
Jess.
bar
Welcome
pretty
to
high.
Celebration. My name's John. I'll be your guide. I heard that your friend was a bit sick, so I'll look after you, and you could hang around with me."
Yeah, so that was awesome. Um,
And
and
then you're
then
just
one
going, "All
other
right, well,
random.
when does Daisy Ridley get here? Like, come on, let's get this going."
No, and then we went and sat, and we were like drinking our beers, looking at that art, like the arts right by where um the Star Wars show stage was.
hmm
So we're sort of like looking at the art, and all of a sudden, and we hear this other roar, like an uproar of people shouting by the little beer cart that we were just at. So I went back over there and asked the bartender lady, what just happened? And she's like, oh, someone just walked by. I don't know who he was. And she's like, but he was really handsome. And I said, did he have a beard? And she's like, yeah, he did. I'm like, oh my God, Oscar Isaac just walked by. I could have, if I
Really
had just
handsome,
stayed
has
where I
beard.
was, he would have been within. Yeah, I'm totally that obnoxious like fangirl that would be excited if I was 5 feet from Oscar Isaac. But
I'd be excited if I was within 5 feet of Oscar Isaac. Make no mistake about that.
yeah,
That's so cool. It's so cool. I mean, I know that there's always stories that people put on masks and walk the floor and things, and like, great. I think that's good that they get to do that. I met Bobby Monahan. That was the closest to the, he's not quite Oscar Isaac level of fame, but that was still pretty cool. But oh look, maybe next time you'll get even closer. You'll get within 3 feet of John Boyega.
maybe. Who knows? You never know.
You never know.
Just
You
gotta
never know.
find
Pencil
out
it in.
where they're walking into the Star Wars show stage, and just plant yourself there and
All
wait
day,
with your
just to wait.
autograph book.
God, that would be quite quaint. I think most people do selfies, don't they? If you buy autograph. Oh, okay, I suppose that's interesting. I guess people still
Mhm.
buy autographs at Celebration, don't they? But they usually get like
They
toys and stuff
do.
signed and things. Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Um, well, we're going to wind up here. Thanks so much for being a guest, and
hmm
it was so
Thank you for
awesome
having me.
to. Oh, look! Thank you for being the guest and coming on, talking the weather and Celebration and some very good juicy episode 9 theories there, and I think we've actually got on some stuff that I don't think anybody else has, so I think that's quite cool. If people want to
Sizzle.
chase you up on Sizzle, if people want to chase you up on the social medias, where do they do that?
It's Darth underscore Schroeder. That's how it's spelled.
Nice.
Schroeder. Schroeder. Don't worry
Just get
about
the
how I pronounce
pronunciations
it.
right. It's only the correct way.
Darth
Don't worry
Schroeder.
about that. Don't worry about that. Oh, awesome. Well, what we'll do is we'll get you to come back and guest again, maybe closer to maybe after the second trailer drops or the full trailer drops, and we'll get your theory, get your thoughts then, and
Okay, I love it.
if you're happy to, and then we'll hopefully see each other for reals at in Anaheim,
Yeah,
and we'll
definitely.
make sure that you
And
get a little piece of merch this time and not just a pin.
a little sun visor, something like that.
Yeah, look, I don't know. I don't want to bring start up again after we're just winding down, but yeah, I'm trying to work on that at the moment. Whether I do both or whether I do something, we'll work it out. You'll be in. I'll let you know when it happens.
I'll let you know if I have any brilliant ideas or
Great.
suggestions.
I can always use more ideas. Great. Well, you can follow us at Star Wars Spelt on Twitter. We've got t-shirts on TeePublic. Just go to StarWarsSpeltOut.com. I think there's links to everything on there. That's probably the easiest way to do it. And leave us a review on iTunes, please. And keep downloading. So thanks a lot, mate. Thanks for taking the time.
Yeah, may the force be with you.
And may the force be with you. I'll see you soon.